Hi guys, it's me, Just Linushin again, and for this video that I will be dedicating to the month of Halloween, October in the year 2025, I would like to talk about something that I am feeling kind of bad about missing for the past couple of years. And that be my love of puppies. Yay! You know, the truth of the matter was that I love dogs, and I always loved dogs. Yeah, this movie is going to be about a movie franchise, the beginning of the movie franchise, that I felt kind of bad about not seeing. And that be the Wolfman franchise, because I always heard that, you got Frankenstein, Dracula, the creature from the Black Lagoon. You have like a bunch of like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, and you have the Wolfman. You know, and I never actually saw any Wolfman movies per se, except for comedies. And they had Teen Wolf, but I didn't want to see the movies. I wanted to see the actual origin of this franchise. So I figured, why not? Why not take my puppy love and watch some on YouTube? Which, by the way, I do really like dogs. Particularly Alaskan Malamutes and Rottweilers. Besides that, I saw the original Wolfman movie from 1941 on YouTube, and unfortunately there was a big disappointment in the movie for me at least. But I'll get to that when I get to that part. But right now, this movie is awesome. I can't figure out why they waited so long to cover this movie. You know, you have the 1933 Frankenstein movie. You have the Dracula movie that, depending on who you ask, started in 1929, and you have other things. So, why did this movie come out when it did in 1941, when all the other movies were like on the second or third movie in their respective franchise, and possibly many books to boot too? So why did this one take so long? Well, I think I have the answer to that. I'm just speculating on this one a little bit, but I'm gonna say that the makeup effects on this movie made it so that they couldn't make it during the time period when the others were being made, because with the others, the costumes are very fixed. Yeah, you have Frankenstein, Dracula, etc., Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, whatever, what have you. But with this one, I think that this is the first actual transformation movie to be seen on TV. I could be wrong on that, but you know, that's why I think it is. Because you see him transform from the human into the wolf. So that's really fascinating to see that in the old timey black and white stuff. He did a really spectacular job of that. Even Lon Chaney Jr., when he did the walking as the creature, the werewolf itself, he walked on his tiptoes. I don't know if he had to wear special platform shoes for that, but it was still something special. So anyway, we learn about this guy whose name is Larry Talbot, who's going through his business in the town, and there's some gypsies in the neighborhood too. Yeah, and see that gypsy people are portrayed by real robotic people, because how effective it is, like portraying them as what they were really supposed to be treated as. So so that they were kind of skipped over on that. They were whitewashed, if you will, by white people dressed up like them, like Romani or gypsies. So you have them warning Larry and company about werewolves and monsters and stuff in the moors, in like the swamp area, the foggy area around the main castle. And then we see one night he's out and about in the dark, and he runs into one of the little puppies, a werewolf that's already been transformed into a werewolf at the full moon. And it takes Larry, but I feel sorry for this poor thing, because he died in the most embarrassing way possible. Because it's very well known that werewolves are weak to silver, projectiles, or blunt objects, or whatever. So when this thing attacks Larry, he defends himself with his cane, and his cane on top of the head, I guess, is covered with a silver ornament. So you see Larry beating the crap out of the guy, like pow 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 pow, with very quick rapid succession. It's kind of like almost embarrassing, but in fact, these powerful creatures that in their lore can actually regenerate themselves, get beaten up by getting pounded on the head with a walker cane. So, but before he ends up kind of losing shit out of this thing, he ends up getting bitten by the werewolf, and the curse is transferred to him. Now, it just so happens that this werewolf, which we don't know the actual origin of who bit him first, it was just something that happened in the very distant past. But it turns out that he's actually the head gypsy woman's son. So she has kind of a soft spot for him. And at first she yells at Larry for killing her son. Then she thinks that it's kind of a good thing that he's dead, because he doesn't have the curse anymore. The curse of hair and fangs everywhere. So that's cool. And may I just say that I think that there's the most aesthetic portrayal of gypsies in the whole history of film here, because they look like the figures that you would find in like one Zoltan machine. You put like a quarter or 50 cents and get your fortune note from a school of like 100 different fortunes. So anyway, they have them getting bitten, and he's always worried about what would happen if his loved ones are in the same vicinity as him when he transforms. Is he gonna retain its sanity or become a mindless beast? Now I think of it, that could actually be the basis for the Azoro transformation in Dragon Ball Z, in which whenever a scene looks at the full moon, they turn into a gigantic ape or a giant monkey with a tail. So yeah, and then they lose all sanity and strategic mind and all that, and then they destroy everything in sight. So I think that this could very well easily be a reference, beginning to that thing. But the thing of it is that I want to know the origin of what set off the first werewolf. Because we know the origin, sort of, say, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, the Hunchback of Notre Dame, the Phantom of the Opera, Frankenstein, Dracula. We know their origin stories concretely. But we don't know the exact origin of this guy and Anka. And then it carried on to include Larry Talbot. So it's kind of more mysterious that way, I guess. But I just look at the origin story for it. And before I go on with it, I should mention that Wolfsbane connects to a wolf too. It's the name of the plant, didn't give it away. It's Wolfsbane. So in any case, you got that going on. So he's worried about it. And he told his father, keep this king with you as a good luck charm in case something bad happens with me. So you're like, what could ever happen to my son? I love your son and this and that. And vice versa. He gets love and acceptance from his father and vice versa. Which is really important. You have a feeling that something bad's gonna happen. You don't exactly know anything about the transformation yet, but you know that something bad's gonna happen. Now, this movie is, let's say, an hour 20, about thereabouts. So it's kind of a short movie. I believe that the Frankenstein and Dracula were all like give or take an hour 5 minutes apiece. About. So yeah, this is a kind of short movie. But within the last half hour or so, that's when the transformation occurs. You hear Mom screaming in pain and all that. And I don't know if it's just maybe the censorship, or maybe because they didn't want to put the makeup on Lon Chaney Jr. for X amount of hours, for each take that he had to do, because you had to let it with transformed, and then a little bit would transform into the hairy creature that we know, like that guy right there. So, what happened was, when they made the transformation sequence, they only focused on Larry's feet and legs for the big transformation, which was a real big disappointment, because I always hear these stories about how great the transformation was, how great the makeup was, how he stood in the chair for an hour or 2 hours, just each layer of makeup on, each phase of the transformation. I would look forward to that. Now, when I saw on YouTube the whole movie, I was like, why did they wait so then late in the movie to actually showed this sequence and this big famous sequence of makeup and wondering over art and stuff. And I was like, did I miss something here? Did I miss them actually doing the whole face thing, or just that with it, just legs and feet? And I was like, I made sure to specifically watch a short, like a 3-minute version of just the transformation sequence, see if I missed something, because some sensitive issue with YouTube and stuff, not showing, facial pain and all that other stuff. But no, it turns out that they had the entire sequence there from soup to nuts, A to B, or A to Z, I mean. And they didn't show any of the face or the arms getting transformed into a giant puppy dog, which was kind of disappointing, but I'll live with it. So there was also a thing about the power of God being there to help out the people, and that if you pray to God, that nothing will harm you. But I was thinking to myself, there is no God in the world of werewolves, because of the transformation, the pain that they gotta go through, the psychological horror of knowing that you can kill your loved ones to make them into a bedtime snack or a late night meal, and that you're always hunted down, you're always on the run from the authorities, always can't have any attachments, and you can definitely not have any silver and silverware nearby you, or they could be used as a lethal weapon. But because that, it's also the idea that you're also getting trained as an animal. So everybody will treat you as such, like a whole beast. And they make fun of it Dragon Ball, because there was a character in that was a male wolf hybrid who coincidentally became a werewolf and a man as a full moon again. But this time it was just a regular sized man, not a giant wolf. But here there was that. There was they were worried they would attack his love interest and his father and everything else. If I ever became a werewolf, I wouldn't attack my father. He's too stringy for my taste. But yeah, I might feel sorry for werewolves, because they're beastly. The person horrible wants to take a bath or something, and they got gnarls. So also for nothing, they didn't choose to go through the painful transformation. They didn't choose to look like a hairball. They didn't choose to grow their teeth long and all that other stuff too. It was a bad event that happened. Now, I will say that I prefer this werewolf movie and other werewolf movies as compared to, say, the Underworld movies, because those are just awful. Because they portray the werewolves as mindless, stupid animals, and the vampires actually look down upon them. I think that in Twilight books, Stephenie Meyer definitely gave them more respectability than they did in the Underworld movies. I know it's hard to believe that actually something nice about those books in the movies, but I think that they did them a little bit more justice. Not much, but still something. In any case, yeah. Let me get on with it. So now you have Larry Talbot, or assuming is a religious man. God cannot help him out. All he can do is give him like a merciful, quick death, which he does get in the movie, because I forgot what killed him. I think a bullet killed him, a silver bullet, which can be cheap to buy, by the way. I mean, how does a society or a police officer find out that werewolves are weak to wolfsbane and silver? Of all the silver, why not gold or platinum? Why is it gotta be one of the least expensive precious metals in the world? So anyway, Larry ends up getting killed, and the old gypsy feels bad for him at the end, and they have a funeral service for him, or as close to a gypsy funeral as you're ever gonna get in this movie. I wish that that's not the rite and the ceremony for real, because Hollywood tends to not include so many details about the religion, the religious rites, and etc. So for other religions besides Christianity and Judaism and maybe Islam as well, but that's beside the point. Now, I will say that it was very nice that the gypsy woman who would tell Larry about the curse what warmed up to him eventually at the end, so that they become kind of friends. And now, this is like the beginning of the whole, talking to an old gypsy woman about Kirsten and stuff, and seeing her advice about what to do and that kind of thing. So yeah, it was actually a pretty nice little story. And the thing is that we should put down that he died in the movie in quotation, because of course the sequels to the Wolfman, there are other interpretations of the Wolfman. There are more stories that involve that specific Larry Talbot. So when he died in the end of this movie, he's gonna be resurrected somehow to fulfill future movie obligations, like Dracula in the Castlevania franchise. That there's always some way, somehow, that he always gets resurrected and such. Which is kind of a disappointment, because you do feel bad for anyone that is bitten by a werewolf and therefore becomes cursed themselves. it's much more than the disability, because when you have a disability, for the most part, it stays with you unless you got genetic disability or just or one. But with this, being a werewolf, it's permanent. It's you spread like a virus to people that don't want it. And that was here. There's also a little bit of lycanthropy, which is the unwanted and uncontrolled hair growth on the face and the body. I've seen pictures and interviews of people with disease. It's quite fascinating that people always link them to werewolves and supernatural things. That's not nice. That's very mean spirited. So yeah. Enough about that, because I really don't know anything about lycanthropy that much. I know that werewolves are not real. Thank God. Thank goodness. So yeah, I thank you for watching my video about the original, I think it's the original movie, The Wolfman, made in 1941, just before we entered, just before we entered World War II. And by the way, this is such a kind of clean version of it, because you don't involve much blood, if any. You don't involve any gashes or nashes or whatever, break claw marks or teeth marks or whatever. Probably because of the censorship back then. Well, who knows what happens? Someone saw a drop of blood somewhere in one of these old movies. So I did this talk for the month of Halloween, October, in 2005. I give this movie my happy face silver approval, because the Wolfman and all werewolves are awesome in my book. And Lon Chaney Jr. shakes Sue's ass as the werewolf in this movie. Also, it should be noted that when he does it, when he transforms, he doesn't really do that much action. He just walks around and stalks around in the midnight and stuff. So he doesn't really do any kick flips or anything else you might expect from the Matrix or something, because this movie was the first of its kind, the first in the franchise. So of course I'm not really going to do anything major like that. And I think I remember him howling at the moon at one point or another, like a real wolf. And yet that is Bonton doing the voice. So yeah, if you like what you see here and want to see more of my videos, you can always like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. You can also contact me for future stuff involving my future videos by calling or texting me at 631-707-3707. And if you'd like, you can also comment on Twitter or X if you prefer, call that Pete Nelson Pro, and my email is jjviewingchannel@gmail.com. So remember, I salute all you puppy lovers out there, and like this movie, the Wolfman, and you feel sorry for him. You're happy that everything came out good with that old gypsy woman, and that they're now friends, even though it doesn't take of her son. And let me know what you guys think about the analysis of werewolves are treated in underworld movies as well as the Twilight movies and books. Peace out, my brothers and sisters. I'll see you in the next video, all you girls and guys in Interland. And remember, guys, you might want to bark at the moon. Ow! Sayonara. Hasta la vista. And I want to know what type of what European lore does this belong to? Is it German, or is it French, or is it like Polish or something? I'm curious to know about that. And see ya.